Why is the font, like, not spooky? Does anybody know a spooky font? That's not as spooky. Comic Sans? Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. I forgot what the name of the one I used last year is. The GUI on OBS doesn't show you a preview. It's all like Arial font when you're trying to choose a new font. Hey everybody, good evening. Happy Wednesday, or whatever day it might be for you. Before we begin, pause. Hold on. Let's wake up the robot. She gotta wake up. Half works. Morning, Daisy. Actually, not morning. It's also not working on YouTube. Why can she not connect to YouTube? Account. Aha. There it goes. That's up and awake now. All right, how we all doing? Oh, hold on, what's this? What is this? Anyway. Actually, okay, we should... College is good, we should be supportive. Alright, so... Good stuff to show off, actually. So, if any of you were here last year, when I did, like, the 80 days remain to make a horror game, you might remember it'd be, like, from day 87 to day 80, nothing would happen. Nothing would happen, right? Like, I would stop stream, I would say, see y'all later, have a good night, and then it's almost like time stopped for me. That, I'm trying to not do this time. I did do a little bit of work, so let's go ahead and hop into the engine. Finally. So, the level generator that I've been talking about for a few, few years now, is done. A good example of it is over here, and it's not going to look like much because it's just test rooms. But this was it. And so it is random, so I could, like, pop a different seed on it. So this first part of the stream today, we're going to explain what it is that we've got here. Let's see. Slightly different, I think. Was that different? Try negative. Maybe you can only find a handful of combinations at that size. Let's do like 20. Okay, so we have like this... Oh, you guys cannot see the screen. There we go. Have you heard about the real... Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know what it's gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna be like an actual just Chuck E. Cheese with theming, or if it's gonna be like a half restaurant, half horror experience. I don't know. But let's see. Let's try this again. Okay, I guess the randomness isn't working. Oh, hold on. Let's try that. Okay. So, TBD on this being done. Unless 0 is random. Okay, 0 is random. Which makes sense because that's the default. I just use -1 for a lot of other things. Okay, so the way that this works is I have a bunch of rooms that I make by hand. If we go over to level generator, level prototyping, maps, rooms. So I have this room child class. There's nothing in this. If I open this up, it's empty. But it's got a lot of the... If I scroll down far enough, it's inheriting a lot of the room class variables and structures. I don't know exactly what the proper term is for these in Unreal Engine. So when I make a new room, and let's actually do that now, duplicate, let's call this room underscore S underscore shape. Pop this up here. Can you guys still not see the screen? What's going on? Do I have a hotkey that switches it? How often does that happen? Just realizing where the OG Ghost GIF at. Do I still have it? I got it somewhere on my local machine. I couldn't tell you where it's at. I'll have to get it ready though. You're right. Do you think drinking warm milk is a placebo effect that old cartoons placed in our minds? Or is there a correlation between warmer temperatures and drowsiness? I think it increases your body temperature probably, but like very slightly. I don't know. Warm milk was never a thing for me, but it was always just cartoons. Okay. So we made the new room child. Here it is. And by default, I have it defaulted to where it's just a 2x2 with 2 doors, so I can show you what happens if I want to change this. So I'm going to go ahead and go to our occupied cells. I'm going to clear this out. We're going to add a new one, add 0, 0. We're going to add a new one just above that. So it's going to be, I think, 0, 1, 0. 0, 1, 0. Then let's do that. And then 1, 2. That's our S shape. And then for our door placements, if I say we have the one door at 0, 0, 0, let's add a new door. Well, we have the second one already. Let's put this one at 1, 2, 0. But it's facing the wrong way. So I just say, and the perspective I'm using is the top perspective. So this is north, south, east, west. This door is here. It's facing south. Is it? East door facing east. South. Oh. I didn't change it. So this room object, BP interact door, needs to be the door offset. Door offset. I changed the rotation so it actually lines up with north, south, east, west. There we go. So now this one should be east, and then we can maybe make this one west. So you go in through here, you exit out through there. Now, obviously, making something like this in Blender is probably a whole lot easier, right? I don't need to do this whole grid cell thing. In fact, let's open up Blender right now and make an equivalent. Just to kind of approximately show what, like, what's happening. Blender. So if I add mesh plane, so this is the same, this is what I'm using for a cell. It's a 2 meter by 2 meter. So when you see 0, 0, 0, and then 0, 1, 0, that's like 2 meters apart from one another. So if I wanted to make this, I could easily just like grab this, turn snapping on, and then like extrude, and then, you know, do that. And there it is. There's my floor. And I can just take that, import it into Unreal Engine. The difference is, there's no data that gets carried with that, because this is on a grid space. Because this is being carried here, in this occupied cell location, you might have noticed there's also these, which aren't populated. They're not meant to be populated by me. The generator populates those. But anything that has access to this room object, like we see right here it does, because I added it, it can see what its dimensions are, it can see what cells it fills up, it also sees where its doors are. So if we had another room object next to it, and it wanted to see, does it make sense to add a second room attached to this one, it could say, well, are there any cells of this room that are overlapping this one? And does its door overlap with a place this door can connect to? And so if the answer to all those questions is yes, it will place that room down there. And so now we can actually add an element here. We can click and drag our new room into it. And now that's part of the room generation. So it's the only gray one here. And so this is debug text. So when a door is connecting, it tells you what room. So room number 8 connects to room number 9 at this door here. And then it's a door that faces north as opposed to its door that faces south. A couple things you'll notice, the walls aren't showing up. So those walls I placed manually. All of the walls that are too high, let's go to unlit. Those are like the auto-generated walls. That I haven't fully finished out, but the idea is that if a room gets placed and the room has more doors than it needs, let's open up an example. This cross hall one I think is a good one. I, as the room designer, have kind of made peace that I don't really need to fill these walls with anything. There's nothing important going on at this space. This is just a hallway. So because this is a hallway, I want to maximize this room's potential for connecting other rooms. But if these doors aren't going to connect to anything, I don't want them to still be there and open up into a wall. So what happens is if, when it's doing the room generation, it determines that a door is dead, so we can see, let me get one where we can see the text a bit better. This one, overlapping a bit more. This one. So the door that was here has nothing to connect to, so that's a dead door. It replaces it with a wall. Here it just replaced it with a default wall, but I can swap these out with whatever I want per room. So if we go back to that cross room, I have so many of these open. I'll get better at naming these at some point. I promise. Here it is, cross hall. If we go back down to our rooms, or at least our room data, at the very bottom, there's an option to, let's see. Oh, it's not in the got confused. It's in the door. So let me, I guess that in and of itself needs explanation too. So if I go here, this is the door. There's nothing in this object but the door. But I have to find where I put it. There's another object that holds doors. Here it is. The door slot. So this is what the room itself is actually holding a reference to. And then this holds a reference to two things. One of them is the actual door itself. The other one is the wall. So if I go back down to here, and then not rendering, it's back. Where is, here it is, door slot. When I toggle this Boolean here, it switches between the wall and the door itself. And I get to determine what do I want that door to be, what do I want that wall to be. Because not all the walls are going to be the same, not all the doors are going to be the same, so I need to be able to swap them out as needed per room. This Boolean is something that the generator can access. Well, technically, the room can access it, but the generator can access the room, and so the generator can access this through the room. So, it's a little, like, there very likely was an easier way to do this. But this is what I've been cooking up, this is what I've been explaining for a long time. Mostly to myself, because I haven't had anything to show it besides, like, I would pull up a PNG of Tetris every so often. But now it's here. Now, this kind of looks like a mess. You know, this doesn't seem like particularly something all too fun to start playing in. But that's mostly because these are test rooms. These are very basic shapes. And we can even see, like, even in this hallway, this is very small. So, realistically, when I'm making a room, especially the liminal spaces type rooms, they're going to be bigger than this, which means the overall level generator isn't going to be, like, this tightly packed with random stuff. The idea and hope is that it looks a little bit closer to, like, the Resident Evil maps. So let me pull one up. Resident Evil 1 Mansion map. Another thing worth mentioning too is that right now the rooms don't have any kind of, like, protection with placing the same room multiple times. When I have enough rooms made, I will add into it a way to prevent duplicates. But let me pull this up. What's this in game design? So something like this is, like, ideally kind of what that end product is, and I just kind of give it the general the general shape. I can tell it what the starting room is, so I can still kind of dictate, well, what's the centerpiece to all of this. In this case, it's the foyer, but in this game, the Liminal Spaces game, it's going to be the mall corridor, which is this. So this is all one room object. When I click it, let's turn on FPS. The engine starts to struggle quite a bit because these are each, like, individual tiles that were placed, and trying to, like, work on this, I think the engine struggles with. But I think this is more efficient than, and you can see it's still loading. The FPS thing is gone, and it's going to take a while for it to come back. I think this is more efficient than just having one large Blender model, because it can unload pieces of this room at a time, I think. I don't know if there's like something that keeps all of a level blueprint active at once, or if maybe it will hide part of the level blueprint or actor. I kind of assumed that it would take a bit longer because OBS is running. There it goes. So 20 FPS. We lost 100 FPS to do that. So not going to do that again. So the point of today is I was going to maybe work on that a little bit, but we'll see. It might struggle too much, and we might just work on trying to make some backrooms rooms tonight. I did want to kind of get some feedback on the size of things. So since this is like the hub, this is like where the rest of the rooms connect to. Obviously, there's going to be storefronts. Not all of them will be accessible. I feel like that would be too much for the type of gameplay we're going for. But like behind the storefronts is kind of where it starts to, like, reality starts to get lost a little bit, and you start to enter more of like the back rooms or even just the liminal spaces. The question I had is like, is this hall too narrow? It was too wide initially. Like yesterday I had it like up to here, so an additional 2 cells on either side. And I don't know, it's one of those things where it might be hard to tell without like everything in here, like all the props and whatnot. So like I put one of the mannequins out. So I don't know if this is too narrow, not narrow enough. I'm leaning towards it being slightly too narrow, maybe expanding it by 1. Because we also have to make sure I have enough space within this cell to like add the walls. Because the walls have to fit within the cell boundary. I can't work outside of this even a little bit. I think once it's filled out with textures, it'll be easier to tell how big it should be. I think so too. Yeah. Oh, and luckily it's relatively modular. So the idea that I'm having is like, how do I connect these storefronts to it? How do I connect things to this? This is also a room. It's a very big one, but it's a room. And let's open it up. First hall. This might take a sec. So if we go down here, we can see how many... Oh, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. No, let's go back up. Go back up. Go back up. It's 2,740 cells so far. And actually, I guess I should explain... Let's get GIMP up and open. And kind of explain the level design. So that way we're all kind of on the same page and caught up to what I've done since last week. Boom. I think I might have had a drawing similar to this. Oh, I think I might have had just this cross one last time, where I said, like, there's these corridors and there are these rooms. I'll explain what the mandatory 7 doors mean in a second. I just want to see what other drawings I have. Okay, so this was the initial design. This was too big. This was too much, I think, to explore, even for like a backrooms game. Because a lot of it is monotonous. I feel like with a corridor type level design, even though you might be traveling the same amount of space as you would in something like the Complex video game, because it's a corridor, you feel like you're going nowhere, as opposed to like the Complex, things keep changing, even if it's like a lot of repetition. So I reduced the size down to this. This is kind of what we're seeing here. I kind of cut this part off, and I kind of reworked these pieces here. So the idea is like the player starts in this corner, in this corridor, and the game ends like at the top of this one. This one is always going to be in the same place because you always start there. This is marked as the starting room. This one is just going to be randomly placed somewhere. I'll have to add to the generator a way to mark a room as mandatory. Like it has to fit this room in somewhere, because currently it doesn't have to do that. But then this space kind of in between is where that entire library of rooms we were looking at a moment ago, back here. As soon as I have a whole bunch of rooms and I fill this out with, I'm hoping I can come up with like maybe 100 different room designs, if not more. Not all of them have to be fantastic and massive, but just enough to be able to fill out all of this space. The doors for this, and let's get like white. Let's get this kind of brush. So like, oh, why is that not? There we go. So like, this is a potential door that can connect to one of those. This. Really, like, everything on this, like, side can eventually lead to, like, the random rooms that will eventually lead us back here. This, we're a little bit limited on because it's to the left, and I think just these overall shapes make more sense when the final room is to the right of it. But it doesn't have to be that way. Really, the only rooms that are confined are these in the center. So, going back to the actual room object for the corridor. If I can find it again, here it is. So, like, these two will almost definitively lead to like a random thing. These two as well. And then potentially like the storefronts here too. One of the ideas that I'd been like thinking on a little bit is back to how Silent Hill 1 and 2 did something similar. Because Resident Evil is a very small space you explore. Like where every little room matters. Silent Hill kind of has two different sections. There's like the town exploring part, and then there's the part that's a bit closer to Resident Evil, like the hospital or the school. But while you're in the town and you're walking the streets, you have long stretches just like this. But most of like the houses and like the restaurants you usually can't enter, but there might be like one or two here and there that you can, which is good because it doesn't really become overwhelming to do that kind of exploratory part of the game. So here I'm thinking of the storefronts, maybe like 30% will be explorable. The rest will be like coming soon or for lease or like maybe it's locked or something. So that's the overall idea for the rooms that connect to this first corridor. Now, kind of going back to what we're planning on working on today, I was potentially going to continue to work on this. I think something that's simple enough to like get a little bit more show don't tell with the room generator is to start making like better rooms to demonstrate it with. So we're going to make some backroom designs. Yeah. If anyone has any references to like the classic OG backrooms stuff, and you're in the Discord, feel free to send it in the Discord server. We're gonna start with like the simple one. Let's do new layer, bucket. Get our pen out. Okay. I think one of the more classic backrooms ones are like the big room, and then you have like these like almost like pillars on them. And so for the sake of not drawing all of them like that, and then it's just kind of rows and rows of that, right? And so on and so forth for the rest of the room. So this floor piece here, we can do in the engine with the room maker. These I'll probably have to make in, I will have to make in Blender. The walls I can probably make in, I should probably make in Blender too. And then same thing with like the ceiling and the ceiling light. I don't think I made a ceiling light before that would be like a good backrooms one. We made a couple for Return on the Stays lab, but Poitso, hello. Get some sleep, man. It's 3 a.m. for you. I appreciate you dropping by though. Happy Wednesday, happy Thursday? Thursday. But get some sleep. Week's almost over. Week's almost over. You can catch up then. Alright, I am going to look up a Backrooms reference image. I like this one. So, the carpet isn't as designed as I thought it would be. Oh, here's the original one. Okay, I'll post a couple photos in the game design chat. And we'll hop over there. So this is the original Backrooms photo. There's like 2 different types of the yellow, 3 different types. No, wait, no, that's a classic one. And then this. So like, this isn't exactly the pillar that I was thinking of. I don't know if there are any examples of that I can quickly find. I mean, if not, it's not a complicated shape to make, the cross pillar. Okay. But what I was most interested in is the lights and the tiling up top. This one uses square lighting. This is more of the kind of what I'm used to, the rectangular ones. I think square would be easier to make. But we'll see. We'll see. Let's get started, honestly. First in Substance Painter, I think. Let's start to try to make a wallpaper for this. What is the scary factor going to be? That's definitely subjective. There will be an entity, but it's not going to be as in your face as Escape the Backrooms is. I don't know. There's a bunch of Backrooms games. I can't expect all of you to have watched or played them. But it's definitely like there's going to be more focus on like tension building as best as I can. Because I feel like if I just threw a bunch of enemies in where it's like, if you get caught, it's game over, or it's like really hard in my poor attempt to be scary, people that don't get scared by it are just going to be frustrated. I would rather them, like a lurking creature, kind of, yeah. We'll see. When it came to Return on this Day, that's something I'm still like trying to work the design out on. For this, I've actually got probably a much better idea of what I want to implement than I did back then for the other game. And that game is still in the works. It's just on pause right now because everything that we're building here is going to eventually is being created to be part of that game. But this is just kind of like taking a piece of it out, making it its own thing to see how well it actually works. and then we can go back and tweak as needed. One thing I do like a lot is like the corner of your eye type things that the Complex does. The Complex is probably my favorite Backrooms game. If you haven't played it or haven't watched someone play it, I highly recommend you check it out if you get the chance and you're interested in that stuff. But it's very like, I think the pacing is good. I think the entities are interesting, but they're also not over the top. Like, that's not the main threat. Make some concept pixel art. Ooh, for the wallpaper. That'd be kind of sick. Yeah, let's... Before I keep yapping too much, I feel like I can yap and open up Substance Painter at the same time, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. How's your game coming along, username? You're making one, right? Because I know you've been posting a lot of art, and I'm pretty sure that was from a game. I just didn't know like how far along you had gotten on that one. I remember one of the things you were posting a lot was, I think, a desktop background. All right, Substance Painter's open. I'm gonna load. Let's see. Real quick, back in back in Blender. I'm just gonna make a 2-meter tall wall. And I'm gonna split this up like this. Well, not 2 meter, this is a 4-meter tall wall. Split it up like this. Center it. UV unwrap it. Check to make sure it didn't do anything dumb. That makes sense to me. And then gonna export this as FBX. Here, content. I wish you could like bookmark. Oh, this is pretty close. I wish you could bookmark folders in the Blender export. Architecture, walls, new folder, liminal. Creator preset, and I didn't select it first, so let's do that. Or FBX. Oh, this is meshes, though. I guess that makes sense. Liminal. I need to clean up the folder structure still. That hasn't happened yet. Okay. So now, back in Unreal Engine, I keep forgetting the names of these apps. Substance Painter. We open that wall. I also didn't name it. I named it Untitled. Oop. There it is. And let's see. Wallpaper. These are all concrete. Paint. I don't really need the cracking stuff. Stone, spray paint, paint brush. That's kind of wallpapery, because we'll have to add the design, I think, separate. And then, oh, let's see. Oh, some of these look good. Alright, let's check this first, just in case. Sometimes there's some good patterns on here. That one's kind of close. It obviously doesn't need to be exact. And I can also, like, make some myself, but I've just never imported something like that into here before. Because that could be, like, an offline task for me. Dang. These don't do, like, the fill as easily. There was a way to do it, and I forgot. Aha! Go back. Let me take a peek at the reference again. The secondary color is kind of like a yellowish brown, maybe like a green. Been a hot minute since I've made pixel art. Took a break for a while. To be fair, I took a break from, like, game development too. It's the time of year where everybody just kind of wants to do something different, I think. I think that's a good color. I just don't know how much I vibe with this pattern, if I'm being perfectly honest. That's kind of... I do kind of like that one. Not a huge fan of that one. I don't hate that one. It's also a little too green. I think I'll have to change it a bit. Honestly, let's invert the color. Let's make this the yellow. Let's see, can I copy this color? Ooh, not what I wanted, not what I wanted. That is a crazy copy color. What? It's not at all what that looked like. Ooh, it did not like that. YouTube, did I lose you? I do kind of like that. Now, also, I don't need only do one. Okay, thanks, Kuro. Oh, did I grab the wrong... I grabbed the wrong one, I think. Okay. I don't vibe with that pattern, though. Where'd my option go to change, like, tiling size? Oh, it's on this. But where? Where's my tiling option? Where does it go? Okay, let's try something else. Mask. Projection. Fill. Wait, am I insane? I thought we had an option to do tiling. That was like, that we got when we did fill. I mean, surely we must have, right? Because how did we do the other one? Does it exist on this? Hey, Raph, how's it going? Oh, hold on. Oh, YouTube is not receiving enough video. Ooh. Error. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. Nothing bad's happening. Everything is going according to plan. I genuinely don't know where the tiling option ran off to. Mask, fill. Can someone rewind and tell me where... What? Okay, this works, but then it's like off-center. Oh, did I lose it? No, it's there. Okay. That works. All of this, and I don't even know if I like this shape. That's the sad thing. Ooh. Honestly, its standalone might just be fine. Hold on now. Okay, I think I'm cooking with something. So let's get it to where these are exactly... Oh, am I already doing that? Where, like, these exactly fill... Okay, I am. Good. Bring this back. You guys kind of see what I'm trying to do? even that like micro adjustment is too small. I don't even know if that would look good though. Although that's standalone. I don't hate it. Hold on. Okay. Okay. I kind of feel that. Get some sleep. And thank you. Let's see if we can get this to fill correctly. I think it just we might just have to eyeball it and like get the tiling size just right. Ah, come on. Oh, I also did. It needs to be 6'9". Ooh, there it goes. That's clean. All right. I feel like the wall is half the battle. Is that crazy to say? I feel like once you get the wall going well, like, you're just kind of good. Now you just have to export it. Okay. Gonna have to close something. Sit tight. Man, it did not like loading back into this. How are we looking? I might just have to open up a new level. Thanks, Daisy. Are we alive? I am inquiring with chat. Through chat. See if the stream is dead. I don't even know if people are still in chat, by the way. It might just be me, and the stream is fine. At some point, I should figure out how to, like, run OBS on a different machine so that this doesn't happen as much. Because this is, like, a consistent issue, and I should be able to figure out how to get it to work, but it's whatever. Why is no one talking in chat? Say something. Alright, I'm going to work on the assumption that you are not dead, and we're going to keep going. This isn't as empty of a map as I was hoping. Bad. Also not great. Oh, this one's not good either. We are live. You did it. Thank you. I wish there was, like, an image of what the level is that you could see before you open it up. I remember which one this is, and I wish I didn't click it. I want to choose a different one, but now I'm stuck. Thank you. Alright, I'm just gonna make a new one. Back room. Yes, save. Get me in there. Okay. Oof, we made it. We're live. Just add a floor. That's all I want, is just a floor. I don't care what color it is. Okay. Now we can see how well we made the thing. If I can find where I keep my meshes. Architecture, walls. I do want to copy. One of those. Alright, you aren't going to be able to see this as I do it. Click and drag off screen. It's easier to do that. Okay. I think we're starting to do better. Add a light. That light did nothing. Okay, hold on. Kind of places where like the light might be. Okay. No collision. Fine, I guess. Next thing I want to test is because this is a 2x4. If I make a 2x2 in Blender, and I just use that instead. Is that still gonna be okay? By export, FBX, wall, 2M for 2 meters. Okay, so I do have to, I have to make a new one. Let me show you this. I tried to just like reuse the same texture. Did not work. So, gonna save this, gonna minimize, and we're gonna open Substance Painter again. Okay, not too bad. It's a little wonky. Arrow's facing the wrong way. One of these has a rotation set to like, yeah, here we go. How many tiles across was the other one? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We don't have to keep it 12, but it'd be nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, let's make it bigger. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You guys can't see what I'm doing. I need to see what that keybind is. I feel like I've hit it like 10 times today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, that's kind of close. Let's fix the offset. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, close. Very close. We need to make it like a bit bigger, so 2.85. That might be good. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Why is it off? Oh, that's rotation I was changing, not offset. No wonder. I don't know which way it's going. Oh, it's moving up. No wonder I was so confused. All right. Oh. That looks very close. No. Why is it changing so much now? It hardly changed on this side. Okay, the size is wrong after all. 2.875. It moves so much, so little. I also meant to do 2.855. Dead. Went the wrong way. 2.845. Dazzle, hello. I'm spending way too much time trying to get like this backroom wallpaper to line up just right so it doesn't look weird when it repeats. Was it 2.85 all along? Was that it? No. 2.855. I'm so close. 2.5. How about 2.25? No. This little bit is gonna bother me so much, though. Okay, first I just need to figure out, does making this number smaller make it bigger? No. Wait, yes. But then it shifts to the right, which is throwing me off, I think. Oh, we're so close. Okay, I think that'll loop well without issue. I think that's gonna look good. Oh, wait. Is this just gonna happen to line up well? The top and bottom? I didn't think about that. I'm hoping it does. Alright, I've just got to make a new folder for this, I think. 2M. Also upside down. Alright, let's test the looping. Oh, nice. That's clean. That's not that's not noticeable. All right. Now we make a room out of that. Go back to Blender. Let's see, 40 minutes left? I don't know, what do you guys think? Think I can do it? How big should these pillars be? Good question. Let's do this. Back to modeling, add a cube. There's some shortcut to like pull all the four corners in. I couldn't tell you what that was. What happened? One sec. Let's ask Google. All right, let's see. Edit mode. Like the top and bottom faces. Inset with eye. Nope. Half meter. Oh, it's wrong. Might have been a cleaner way to do that. I don't care too much. Okay. There we go. Curious about is what is our... Oh, I hate that. All right, let's see. Smart EV project. Unwrap. I don't know how that's gonna look with the 2x2, but we'll go ahead and save it. Would this be in wall? Architecture. Yeah, I guess I'll just make it like a pillars folder. Pillars. Pillar. Back room. And then we'll export. Back in engine. Import. And I'm curious to see how well, like, this one just overlaps on top of it. Not very well, it looks like. Could just be the lighting, though. Hold on. Oh, actually? If we rotate its UVs, that works. Show you what I'm looking at. Rotate and shrink, I think. Try 1.5 across the board. See how that looks. Oh! What? Oh! Yikes. Crashed. They didn't click it. Wait. Did I not export? Why not? Why not? Why are the UVs not updating? I could just do it here. Shouldn't have to. How do I rotate? There we go. Sure. Although now I guess the concern is that these don't flip together well. Yeah. Go back to the UV editor. There it goes. Nice. Okay. Carpet and then ceiling, but both of those are going to be a whole lot easier. Same thing. We're going to go back into Substance Painter. And go and save this. A new one. We're going to use the same 2M. We can just reuse this. Start with just carpet, see if something already exists. Rug. Probably cloth. Or fabric. Not quite. Burlap, priest, composite, linen, flannel, jeans, linen, sci-fi, camo, synthetic. No. That's pretty close. Okay, yeah. Ooh. Is anyone still here? What do they think about the different fabric for the carpet? We do this cross one. This one doesn't look too bad. We could change the color. More of that yellow. That brown. Kind of stained color. Go back to fabric. I don't know if we had any different options when we did that, but I don't know, we're taking a peek. I like the one we have now quite a bit. Let's take a look again at the reference. Maybe a bit more yellow. Oh shoot, where'd it go? More than the wishbone-y one? Why are we lagging so much? I'm just changing color. Stop! The way color is being applied on this one's weird. So maybe something... I don't know why it's struggling so much, dude. Maybe something like that. Because it doesn't apply the yellow all the way. It's just kind of weird how it does it. We'll see how this looks. Save as floor. I'm gonna make a new folder called liminal. I spelt it wrong. Back room floor. Print export. Okay. Back in engine. So our floor is just going to be like these essentially, but rotated. And obviously with the new texture, but like the actual mesh itself is this. So just to kind of get this lined up. And before we end tonight, I do want to get us to the point where we can at least put it all together, at least as far as we get. That should only take about 5 minutes, I would think. So we've still got another 10 or so. Actually, before I do that, let's get the material that I need. Liminal 2M. Floor liminal here. Open that, and I have to do this on a separate screen so I can click and drag. How do we feel about this? I think we're also missing the trimmings that would go here, like the floorboard type thing. That might not be a tonight adventure, but that's probably like, if you're thinking it looks a little off, I think that's why. Like, actually, we can just, like, throw a very basic board on there. It doesn't need to be that big. Just a 2. 4. Cover all of it. And then, I don't know, do we have like a brown, yellow, honestly, we can probably just use the same liminal yellow. Why am I here? Like, if we were to give this its own dedicated texture, put some of the edge detect on there that we can do in Substance Painter, I think that would look a little bit cleaner. Because if we go back to the reference image, like, yeah, this doesn't have it. This one does, though. And I think the difference is, like, because this is real life, it, like, it can get away with not having that on it. And it, you know, it kind of works. Because, like, there's the tears of the carpet on the side. Like, there's more than just wall than straight to carpet. Like, there are bumps along the carpet, which we could still technically do that in Substance. It's just a little bit, I don't know, it's a little bit more challenging to do that consistently. Not impossible, though. So we'll sit on that a little bit. Let's get the, I guess the ceiling done? Can we cook up a ceiling within about 10 minutes? Why is it lagging so badly? Is that Substance Painter still? I feel like there has to be a memory leak in Substance Painter. I feel like there's no other way. Right, because now it's smooth again. We'll just do tile. We won't design a lamp tonight, but we'll just see if we can get some kind of tile. I was hoping they'd have something nice. I might just have to see manually, because I don't know, like, I don't know what that material is called. Like almost like a cork type paper card. That's pretty close. Like, cook that up with a little bit of yellow. Why? Is that the wrong color? Oh, here. I think this is definitely a little bit more of a white. Something like that. And because this is meant to be tiled, right? We can actually do the edge detect stuff pretty easily. So now we go here. We have to bake. Now it's not doing anything. Oh, there it is. It's super light. Okay, so that might take a little bit more like Blender reworking then to get something where like these edge detects work a bit better. Because this is just like a flat plane. Which isn't particularly a tonight adventure. Trying to see if any of these happen to look good. They all look about the same. Alright. We'll stick with this. Export. Architecture. I don't have a ceilings folder yet, so we're gonna make one. Ceiling. Might have spelled ceiling wrong. No, I didn't. Liminal. the engine, import. And then same thing, for now we're just gonna reuse these. Here. There we go. Couldn't see for a moment. Boom. This is gonna look a little janky, but that's fine. Oh, where did it go? Now, once this is in a room and we put like the actual light fixtures up there and maybe like clean up the detailings a little bit, I don't think this looks too bad. Now, we have the opportunity now to finally use the room tool that I built to make a room that isn't just a Tetris piece. I said it would take 5 minutes. We're at an hour and 55 minutes into the stream. Let's see if I lied to all of you. Actually, I'm gonna close Substance Painter because it's already struggling. Discard. Duplicate. Room. Backroom underscore. Columns. All right, so let's think. If a single column is one of these 2 meters, I would think we want 4 meters between them. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know if I showed this off yet. So 0, 0 to 0, 8. That's the wrong way. To 8, 0. Let's see. 2, then column, then 2, then 2, then column, then 3, then column. You know what? 3 makes more sense. And then, so column here, 1, 2, column, 1, 2, column, that's 7. 1, 2, so, what do we want? Go and click that column piece. Close the rest of these because I just keep getting lost. Why did you put it there? Oh, I guess. Oh, that's fine. Whoa, turn on snapping, please. Snap this to... Oh, I can't change it to 100? Kind of awkward. Actually, before I start copying pasting, let's do this. Liminal to M. I've got to do this off screen because the click and drag is weird. Oh, I did say I wanted it to have, like, what? 2 columns apart? Or 2 cells apart? Just 4 meters? I kind of want to do more than these. Also, I lied. It's been more than 5 minutes. But it's also not like we're making 0 progress. We're doing some good stuff here. So 8, this would be 9, 10, 11 by 11, 12, 13. Oops, I missed some. Can I not open it like in the content drawer here? Ugh, come on. I was hoping I could like bulk assign it to this. Oh. No. Oh, yes. Wait, this is also the... That's the wall. I need the floor. Nice. Don't know why it jumped me over there, but I'm not gonna ask too many questions. Ooh, we didn't make a door cutout. We didn't make a special door for this, so we're gonna just kind of cheat. Architecture, wall, liminal. So just by clicking it and add, it should show up here. Kind of goofed up with how I placed it. You see that the pivot is in the center. Realistically, it should be in that corner. Not a huge deal, but it just makes it a little bit different from how the floors behave. It's looking good. My PC's starting to struggle a little bit. I'm half hoping that's because I've got OBS and Blender open still. It struggled a little bit during the hall corridor, but that's also because it's got, 2,400 individual cells that it's tracking. Might have to see if there's like some other optimization I can do if this becomes like too much of a problem. But because this is like not super frequent, like I don't frequently need to work in a room, especially once it's been made, kind of a one and done type thing. I'm not super concerned unless like there's performance impact in game. Then it's something I definitely would want to address. But if it's just like it's a little bit slower now because it's trying to reference a huge list of things at once, but in game it's capable of splitting them apart and loading them separately, then I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Come on, you can do it. Okay. Next is... I'm trying to think if we should do lighting first or ceiling. Or like both. I'm thinking like lights. Oh, I did the math wrong. Look at that. Uh, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's an easy correction. The shift click to work? No. You have to control click. I saw the creases, but no, kind of got worried that the texture was messed up. That's just the lines drawn by Unreal Engine. I got scared there for a sec. Okay. Now we add the roof tile. We take one of these, copy it. Wait for it to decide if it wants to listen. Then line it back up. This might be a problem because it might recognize it as the same object as the walls and not let me super easily set it to a different material. We're about to find out. Okay, we're good. This isn't going to be annoying. Why is it that it's invisible from the top but not the oh, it's because of a different object I'm using for the floor. Forgot I did that. Really, I think I need to not use this floor object because it's using way more bases than I actually need. The floor is a cube, but you can't see the corners or like the underside of it. I also copied too many here. I thought it was 3, but it was only 2. Okay. No. There we go. I probably should add some way to do the same thing with the ceiling that I did the floor. The issue is, like, the ceilings are going to be of, like, different heights. The floor is always going to be, you know, on ground level. The ceiling, though, not really, unless I specify the height, which you might have noticed. There are 3 axes, like X, Y, and Z. Z isn't being used. That's more of like a provision for the other game. But I could just like override it and use it for this. I don't know. If it becomes too much of a problem, I might. But I feel like the walls and the ceiling are going to be unique enough to where I can't just have it be auto-generated. Then I'll just kind of stick with doing it manually. We haven't been spending too long on this, mind you. About 20 minutes. I think going through this process once myself now, like start to finish on a room larger than a Tetris piece. The only thing that really needs to be done in Engine is the floor. Because that's the only data that the room generator cares about. The floor and the doors. The walls, the walls and the ceiling, I can probably just do in Blender. And then just bring those over. I would still probably want to split them up into like smaller meshes, but maybe not like per cell type of small. I think that was initially my plan too last night, now that I think back on it. But I just forgot to do that. Okay, now we want to add lights. I'm thinking lights like here in the middle, so that we can kind of see like some of the shadows get cast. I think that'd be a cool look. Rectangle light might work more, but I haven't used a rectangle light in a while, so it's probably better that I just don't try to learn on the spot. Pretty much perfect. I go one up. No, too much. Okay. And let's add a door back here at 11:13. Scroll all the way down to where I have the doors. New door. at... That's not it. Third one. 11, 13. Want to face... oh, this is using the wrong door type still. I need to change the default to use the right one. Offset. I need to spell correctly. And then these ones are probably off. Yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen. Some of those doors don't belong. There it goes. 0, 0, 0 should be facing west. And then this next one should be facing south. Okay, now we can throw that in the level, take a peek at, see how it looks. And those doors don't work yet because we didn't make the wall cut out for it. But we can just fall into the level like this. I thought... Let me in. There it goes. Our scalability is low. Let's turn this up. Let's turn off the debug text. I keep spawning like out of the level. There we go. There we go. Put a little bit more detail into the ceiling, probably some of the walls too. Like the floorboards that we mentioned, the actual lamps in the ceiling. Maybe even mix up the floor a bit. Now, one last thing I'll show off. Let's go back to that one level. This one. Now on our level generator, we add a new room, and that is the column room. So now when it generates, all of these are too small. I'm worried that it's choosing... I haven't tested this with this depth with the generator yet. I'm worried that it's choosing the easiest, which is always going to be the smaller rooms. Which is something that'll be fixed once it's like, you can only use a room once. So it can only use the easy rooms a handful of times. Well, let's get rid of the easy rooms. No more hallway. Let's see. Room, L shape. Room, 2x4, and then column. Still no. Maybe it's not big enough. There we go. So, as I mentioned, as soon as there are enough rooms where I can, like, easily fill out the space without using duplicates, I will turn off duplicates so that it doesn't spawn the same room multiple times. Or maybe I can add, like, a counter. Like, if I do want a room to spawn more than once, I could say, like, maximum uses for this room type is, like, 2. But if it's, like, a unique room or a small room to where I don't want it to fill up everything, I can make it a bit smaller. But here, we can see that this door automatically determined that it could connect to this room here. Same thing with these doors here. And you'll notice this one despawned because it didn't connect to a door on this side. So it just removed it. It didn't do it very cleanly because we didn't really implement the correct way of doing it on this room, but that worked. Same thing with these. You can even see that it rotated the room so that it fit where the space gave it. So same thing. It removed the door that it didn't need. Here it removed the opposite door. So looks good. Okay, well, like, all of these are weird, but that's just because I put the walls right up against the edge. Realistically, I shouldn't do that. I should, like, pull them out a little bit. Kind of like what I did here. Because you'll notice from these, none of them are clipping together like that, because there's a little bit of a buffer there. Okay. Let's see. That took 20, like what, close to 30 minutes to finish the room. I think we could reduce the time it takes to make rooms if I just don't try doing all the walls and ceilings in Engine, and if I just do that in Blender. The floor, I think, needs to be done here. It's probably going to be the best way to do it. But everything else, I think I can just do... I can just do in Blender and import it. Okay. Is anyone... I see 2 of you left on YouTube. Who stuck around at the end? If you're a chatter. If you're just a lurker, I hope you enjoyed. Already making so much more progress than we did last Halloween. Do I still have... Let's see. Let's see where we were stream 2 for the Halloween thing last year. I'm gonna guess we didn't get far at all. Oh, I think I removed a lot of them. The latest one I have is when we had the piano. Either way, I think it took us a long time just to get anything done. So I'm pretty happy about that. All right. I will see you all again, hopefully in about a week. I'm gonna try to. We'll see how ambitious I get. Over the weekend, maybe I can actually get the mall done, like get the actual corridor, at least like the ceiling and the walls. Maybe not definitely not the storefronts. That's gonna be a lot of work. But maybe like we can have these more textured out and filled out to the point where we've got some cool stuff to show off for next time. Okay. I was talking and pointing at the screen. You guys couldn't see I was talking about this thing. Okay. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend. Halloween is now. Obviously, most people aren't celebrating, but hopefully soon you're going to start seeing more of the decorations out and about wherever you might be. Okay. Have a good night, and I will see you next Wednesday. Okay, bye.